All right. The style of the show is very conversational, and the idea being helping people kind of get the guts to get out of their comfort zones and step out of their rut and live the life they always dreamed of living. Um, Target audience is Christian men, married. They've got kids, pretty much like us. So, but deep down, whatever they're doing in their lives isn't the thing they feel called to do. But so they're keeping the golden handcuffs on in a sense. So that's kind of where we're going.
Awesome.
All right. Cool. Well, if we're ready, I'll do a countdown, 3, 2, 1. That'll just let me know where we officially started. And then we go from there.
Let's do it.
All right. And then intro, outro, I'll do in post-production. So we'll just dive right in. I'll say, hi, Cliff. How are things in Kentucky? And that's how we kick it off.
Sounds good.
All right. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. All right. Hey, Cliff, how are things going in Kentucky? Sorry, I said it that way. It's like Last of the Mohicans. Sorry.
No, things are going great in Kentucky. Never been better. It gets better every minute of the day. And I am delighted to be a guest on your show, Jerry. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Yeah. I mean, I can't wait to rub this in Brandon's face. He retired from the show a few months too soon, and this is perfect. No, I'm kidding. I'm not going to rub it in his face. No, I will rub it in his face. Sorry, Brandon. I love you, though. So the reason I definitely wanted to have you on the show, I mean, you've done a lot in the space of podcasting, and I've followed the show. In fact, your show is the one where you were giving out like a free tutorial on how to start a podcast. No pressure on you, but that is the thing that I listened to that got me started in podcasting, right down to the purchase of the Roland R-05, which
that was such a beautiful recorder.
Yeah, I didn't replace it.
Of course, you came in late. You missed the original R09 recorder.
Ooh.
And then the R09HR.
Ooh.
But the R05 is not so bad. And currently, I'm using the R07, but you don't need the anodized aluminum body in the bright red color.
Oh, it comes in red? Okay. If my wife's listening, she's like, no, Jerry, you got your PodTrack P4. You're going to make that work for years. I'm like, okay. So there it is.
Well, then I won't tell you about the Rodecaster Pro and the high LPR 40 portable studio setup that I do from the front seat of my car then.
Oh, I did see that. I saw it live, and I was just listening to it earlier this morning. I'm like, wait, I saw this. But I was looking around, I'm like, wait, but I'm not in his audio. Yes, you repurposed the content. That was so cool. That was really cool. It sounded like you were in studio.
Yeah. So are you talking about the Cliff Ravenscraft show, episode 668?
That one, yes. The most recent one.
Yeah. Yeah. The one, it's titled Ending the Cycle of Indecision. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that happened. It literally sounds the same as if I was in my studio right here.
Yeah.
I was in the front seat of my car with a Rodecaster Pro running off of a portable battery pack. And I had my high LPR 40, and I bought some hard cases to carry all that stuff. And those things sit in my trunk, and whenever I want, I can just pull it out and put a podcast episode together.
Now, what was the temperature outside when you did that? That's kind of important for me to know.
It was 97 degrees outside.
Okay, and you did not die. So
I had the air conditioner on.
Okay, and that didn't come on.
No, matter of fact, I had the noise gate kicked in. Okay. And so basically what I did is I had the car running for a little while. So the car was cooled down to the proper temperature for what would be comfortable for me. And then I turned the fan on the air conditioner all the way down to low, and I blew it up towards the roof of the car.
Okay. Good to know.
And and then of course with the high LPR 40 only taking in the audio, which is in proximity to the end fire of the microphone, and rejecting a lot of background audio. So for example, for those who are listening in audio only, have a listen to my voice right now. And all I'm going to do is I have just moved my voice or my mouth approximately 2 to 3 inches away from the end of the microphone. And now I'm back in front of the microphone. So and I have a very loud, powerful voice. And so if I have a loud, powerful voice that goes all the way down like this, when I'm just 2 inches off the microphone, that air conditioner it's probably 18, 24 inches away from the microphone, behind the microphone. And by the way, here's my voice behind. I had to almost yell for you to hear me. So, I mean, behind the microphone, this is why I use the High LPR 40, my friends. It's an incredible microphone. And so, yeah. And then, of course, the Rodecaster Pro has a noise gate built in as well. So when I'm not talking, the air condition, like even if you could hear the air conditioning,
Yeah.
my voice, when my voice opens up the noise gate and lets audio come through the microphone, my voice is louder than the air conditioner noise under my voice. And when I when I stop talking, my voice let the gate closes behind, and even if there was some noise from the air conditioning, it closes behind it.
Okay, cool. Now, if you get some hate mail from Olivia Dugan, I apologize ahead of time because the Rodecaster just made the Christmas list again. So,
hey, I have 3 of these things.
I mean, you earn an income off your show. I haven't built that into this one yet. So,
well, why not, Jerry? What, you've been doing this for 6 years?
6 years, yeah.
When's the income coming?
It's coming soon.
Olivia, I got it from here. Don't send me. You just hold off on your hate mail. Let me just work things out for you.
Look at the time. I got. No.
Why are you waiting? When are you going to start generating some money?
Yeah, that is the thing that's been coming up. So talk about ruts. Oh my gosh, we just turned the tables, Cliff.
Come on, Rudder Nation.
Oh man. It has actually been the question that has been asked to me since March 2021. So, yeah, I'm not going to blame Brandon because it was a team effort. We basically just didn't do it. We got into our comfort zones. He had a job that was very comfortable. I have a job that's very comfortable, and we didn't have that motivation to really monetize. We still wanted to put content out there. We still wanted to share our ideas and share guests with people.
So if your job is so comfortable and you don't feel, because your job is so comfortable and you just feel like creating content, then why would Olivia get upset if you want a Rodecaster Pro? Because your job is comfortable. You're making plenty of money at the day job. You don't need money from the podcast. Why would Olivia send me hate mail just because you put the Rodecaster Pro back on that one list?
Oh, because of my coward. I want to put your name on there. Like Cliff said. The real reason we've gotten to the bottom of it.
There's nothing, by the way, there's nothing wrong with not generating money from your podcast after 6 years. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Unless one was to tell me, the thing is though, if I did generate income from, I could have this. And it's like, well, wait a second. Do you want this? Whatever this is, whether it's a Rodecaster Pro or whatever, is there something in your life that you want that you don't have? And then just answer that question. It doesn't matter what it is. Create a list of all the stuff that you have, that you don't have, that you would like. Write a list of it. And then ask yourself this question: why don't I have these things?
Mm-hmm.
And then contact me and I'll help you get all of them.
Nice. There we go. Yeah, because you left a very well-paying career in insurance.
I've left all sorts of very well-paying things.
Yeah. And you earn your income, from what I've seen on the outside looking in, of course, through a variety of things. Podcasting, which builds that platform where you do like one-on-one coaching, masterminds, events, and so on. And that's just some of the ways that you've monetized and built a variety of income streams off of just a passion.
Yeah. Well, there are countless ways that one can generate money. So I have done one-on-one coaching, as you have indicated. I started out at $50 an hour because I was like blown away. It's like, oh my gosh, people are going to want to pay me to help them learn how to podcast. This is crazy. I can't believe they're paying me $50 an hour. I almost felt like I should be paying them $50 for the hour that they let me ramble on about something I love to talk about so much.
Yeah.
So it took me a while to figure that out. Now, by the time I decided to do this full-time as a career, and when I say this, I simply mean having encouraging conversations that helps people break free from anything that's holding them back from living the life of their dreams. That's what I do for a living, and that's what I've always done for a living. But there was a period of time where I didn't think people would just pay me for entertaining content. There was a period of time when I didn't think people would pay me just to have an encouraging conversation with me, which, by the way, on average, my clients pay somewhere between $1,000 to $2,500 for a single 90-minute one-on-one conversation with me today.
Wow.
With nothing like you're going to get this in return. It's like, listen, you're other than, hey, Cliff, I need some clarity. I need a different way of seeing the world. I'm really struggling here. I can help you with that. So but there was a long period of time, Jerry, in my life where I didn't believe I could get paid for that. So I decided, you know what, my limiting beliefs allowed me to believe that if I had a marketable skill, such as I can help you learn how to launch a podcast, it'll sound great. It doesn't matter what your technical skill is. I can help you set up all of your equipment, teach you how to edit your podcast, show you how to set it up in all the podcast directories, and you're well on your way. Now, what you do with it after that, that's up to you, but I can help you get some mindset about how to think about those things once you've successfully launched your podcast. And eventually I realized it's like, wow, I'm really underselling myself at $150 an hour. And eventually I got to the place where people paid $2,000 for Podcasting A to Z, a 4-week group training program where I gave them tutorials on how to do all of the stuff, but then gave them a discussion forum where they could ask me an unlimited number of questions via text, forum-based discussion threads. Ask me an unlimited number of questions, and for 4 weeks, I will answer every question you can think to ask me. And I'll do 4 1 to 2 hour group coaching calls on the weekends. And I had almost 800 people go through Podcasting A to Z at $2,000 a person. So yeah, that's a little bit about some of the stuff that I've been able to do. That's one way of generating income. But there are at least another 100 ways I've generated income so far.
Yeah, that's nice. I mean, I remember I just went to, we ran into each other there, Podcast Movement 2021 in Nashville. And the couple of marketing tracks where I'd sat in on the sessions, they seemed solely focused on traditional advertising, get your CPM up to a certain point. And, how do you get there? Great content. And you're like, well, how do you get great content? Well, that's up to you. And you're like, and like 2 of those, I'm like, okay, I know there's more than these 2 ways to monetize.
Here's a perfect way to build an incredible business where you could do whatever you want for a living. Create a podcast about what it is you most want to do in this world. Consider your education, your experience, your areas of expertise, your skills, your talents, and your abilities, along with your passion of doing some sort of work that makes you come alive inside. Put all of that together and decide what it is you want to do. Then go create a podcast that will attract that audience who will pay you for your products or services. Now, the thing is, though, don't do what everybody else does, which is start on the small scale of, oh my gosh, I wonder if people will pay me $20 and $29 or $49 a month for my membership program. I wonder if people, no, go out and find yourself 12 people. So technically speaking, if you do this right, you should be able to create a podcast, get your first 100 subscribers. 100 subscribers. And convince 10 of them to pay you $1,000 a month. You've now made $120,000 a year. It's that simple.
Yeah.
And seriously, it cannot be more difficult than that.
Yeah.
By the way, it can be, but it's your choice.
There you go.
Kevin Kelly wrote an article in 2008 titled 1,000 True Fans.
Okay. Yeah.
And in it, he says, you don't need hundreds of thousands of subscribers. You don't need millions of people around the world. You don't need to be a blockbuster movie star to make a great living. If you just had 1,000 true fans, and he described a true fan. A true fan is defined as somebody who is a part of your community. They resonate with who you are. They resonate with your voice, your message in this world, and they believe in you and what you're putting into the world. So much so that these are the people who are going to consume all of the content that you create. They'll be the first in line to buy your products and services and show up at your live and virtual events. That's a true fan. If you have 1,000 of those, anyone can make an incredible living. Mm-hmm. It's like I was already experiencing the truth of that by 2008. And so that was a reality for me. But then I began to stretch it a little further. I think that if you had 100 true fans, you could make an incredible living.
Yeah.
And I've even gone so far as if you had 10 true fans, you can make an incredible living. So for example, how do you become a millionaire? Well, there's lots of ways to become a millionaire. But Jerry, here's one thing that I'm going to tell you that will be a part of my future. Check in with me. Keep following my journey. Here's what I can absolutely 100% assure you. At some point within the next 5, 10, 15 years, I, Cliff Ravenscraft, will have 10 clients who pay me $100,000 a year to be a part of my paid mastermind group. Now, do me a favor. What's 10 times 100,000?
$1 million.
$1 million a year for facilitating a mastermind group that, who knows, maybe it meets once a week virtually. Maybe it meets once a month face-to-face. Maybe it's a little bit of combination, but it doesn't matter. The question is can I create something that would be so powerful in a network that is so high level where people at this level want to do life with other people? It's not a question of can I, it's just a question of when, will I, and when will I?
Yeah.
And so yeah, you watch me. I will have 10 clients who pay me $100,000 a year.
Nice. We got the proof right here. Well, that you stated it, put the stake in the ground. So we've already talked about like one way you can earn an income doing podcasting and creating a business around that is you're the expert. You know something that you're passionate about, very knowledgeable about, and you're helping other people either create the same for themselves or solve a problem. You're creating a solution for them. And the thing you just described, the stake in the ground you just made is you don't even have to be the guy who knows everything. You're creating the stage, in a sense. You're creating the setting for this synergy to happen among 10 people who want to go another level up in their lives. And the value to them would be, $100,000 a year. And
yeah. And it's not even that all of them have to necessarily have this aggressive desire to go to the next level. Have you ever heard of this phrase? It's lonely at the top.
Yeah.
So the idea is, for me, when I first started my online business, before I did that in January 2008, prior to that, I lived my entire lifetime as an employee. Now all of a sudden I own my own business. And for the first time in my life, I'm not guaranteed a paycheck. It's like you don't just show up and clock in and clock out, and then magically there's a paycheck that arrives. No, there's a whole different way of seeing the world. And if you don't do this or that, these things can happen. And there's all sorts of ups and downs that could come along. And when it came down to it, I was really struggling because I needed to talk to some people about what it is that's going on in my life. And all of my friends up to that point had no clue. Cliff, I have no idea what to tell you there. This. I mean, they were encouraging. It's like, hey, good job. Don't worry, you'll get through. Keep praying about it, and stuff like that. And that was all fine and dandy, but it wasn't helping me make any better decisions. And so what I desperately wanted and needed in my life were other people who understood what it was that I was facing as far as decision making, as far as emotional state management, and all this other stuff that, when it came to ideas for products and services, how to market things, how do I process how I feel about sending out an email and seeing 13 people unsubscribe after I sent out a broadcast message. I mean, who do I turn to talk about these things? Well, I didn't know anybody. So it felt like, man, I'd risen to the top of my existing peer group. And for that reason, I'm struggling to get any valid feedback from them. Other than encouragement, I get it, but I don't need encouragement. What I need are people who understand the language I'm speaking.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And I need to upgrade my peer group. I want to find, are there other people who live their lives with the understanding of, SEO and how do I track this? What is Google Analytics? What is it called? There's these meta tags that you put in Google. They're U3 tags or something like that. I can't even think. I can't think of the name of it right now.
This is where
anyway,
taking notes.
so there are these they're UTM.
I've seen that. I don't know what they are, but yeah.
Oh yeah, you've got to see, Jerry, you need to be in a mastermind group. Upgrade your peer group to people who can help you understand not only what a UTM parameter is, but why it's essential that you know it if you want to actually have success in your business. Would you like to know what a UTM parameter is? Okay, so here's what it is. You put Google Analytics on your website, right?
Yeah.
And so you can actually create a sales page for a product or service. And if you go into your Google Analytics, it'll tell you how many unique visitors were on that page, how much, maybe it'll even tell you how long they spent on that page and all this other stuff. And it'll tell you that, it might tell you that this is how many links came from Facebook. This is how many links came from Twitter. So you get some of that, right?
Yeah.
But what you can do is, before you go share, like, let's just say my URL is, I'm going to throw out a URL just for what do you call that? Hold on, give me a second. It's coming. I promise you. It's when you hide a message inside, subliminal.
Oh, okay. Got
subliminal marketing. I'm going to use this mindsetanswerman.com/free. All right.
Nice.
So let's just say you want to send somebody to mindsetanswerman.com/free. So I could, if I wanted to, say, hey, do you want to check out a 1-hour opening keynote address to my Free the Dream conference that I promise you, if you watch it, it will transform the way you see the world forever and your life will never be the same? Head over to mindsetanswerman.com/free. Now, what I could is I could just hand everybody that URL, right? Now, what I could do, though, is I could Google UTM parameter generator, and Google, you'll find the Google thing that will generate some UTM parameters for you. So what I'll do is I'll say, okay, here's the link I want people to go to, mindsetanswerman.com/free. And then it'll say, okay, where are you going to share this link? I am going to share this link in my email newsletter for Wednesday, September 1st, 2021. Okay, great. Thanks for letting us know that. Here's a submission. Boom. Here's your link with the UTM parameter. So now the link is actually mindsetanswerman.com/free/ or $UTM equals, and it's a bunch of code.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Now what happens is I will take that and I'm going to schedule an email to go out to my newsletter on Wednesday, September 1st. And when I link to that page, I'm not going to put just the brief URL, mindsetanswerman.com/free. Instead, I'm going to paste in the link with that UTM parameter. So, and now I'm going to go in here and I'm going to say, okay, here's the link. Great. Where's this going to be? This is going to be used in a Facebook timeline post. And it's like, okay, great. Here's your UTM code for that. So now I go over to Facebook and I promote this, but I'm going to promote it with the new UTM link that's been added on to that URL for there. And so now get this. Now in Google Analytics, it says, here's how many people came to this website from your email newsletter that was sent on Wednesday, September 1st, 2021.
Wow.
Here's how many people came to your website from the social media post on September 1st, 2021. Here's how many people came to your website from your profile, from your Twitter link. Here's how many, and it's so drawn down. So now all of a sudden, imagine you're promoting a conference like a Free the Dream conference.
Yeah.
And so I'm promoting this conference, and now I'm looking at the sales page, and I've been creating, let's just say there was a point where I was creating one piece of solid content every single day for my vlog, my YouTube vlog. And I was turning it into social media posts, and I was putting it in LinkedIn articles, and I was putting it in my email newsletters. And so, but all of them led to the sales page for the Free the Dream conference. So now all of a sudden I'm investing hours and hours and hours every day marketing this. Now, because I used UTM parameters, it says, hey, did you know that 60% of the traffic that you're generating are coming from these top 3 things that you've done?
Wow. So then from there, you can apply the Pareto principle and more effort into those top 3 performing.
Exactly.
Man.
UTM parameters. So the thing is guess what? If I had not upgraded my peer group to other people who understood the world in which I live, how many of people that still had their day jobs, who were afraid to leave their day jobs, who said, Cliff, keep praying. I know this is God's will for you. You're going to make it, blah, blah, blah. How many of those people, if I actually reached out to 1,000 of those friends, how many of them said, have you actually tried tracking your UTM parameters on Google Analytics?
Yeah, not
Yeah,
until they also kind of broke out of that circle, learned something new, and then came back into the village in a sense, and then shared that. Yeah.
exactly.
Oh,
Yeah, that's it. So it's not just about being the expert. It's not about creating an environment where everybody has to. No, it's just creating an environment where peers can do life with other people like them.
yeah.
That's it. Hey, we are a matter of fact. I have something called the Next Level Mastermind. And in the Next Level Mastermind, it's all business owners. Most of us have online businesses, but not all of us. But we're all business owners. So we all understand that our paychecks are not guaranteed. We all understand what it means to be responsible for accounting, bookkeeping, tracking things, marketing, creating products and services, answering customer service stuff. We understand our world, and we're all trying to learn and grow and all this other stuff. But the thing is we're all consistently there bouncing ideas. Hey guys, here's something I learned this week. Or hey guys, here's a struggle that I have. It's like, oh yeah, I dealt with that like 2 years ago. Here's what I used. Boom. So first thing I would say for somebody who's struggling to figure out this stuff, if you've made the leap out of the day job or something like that, it's time to upgrade your peer group, which by
Yeah.
the way, you could go to upgradeyourpeergroup.com. I, th-
I got to
I
put that
think
in the
that's
show
a
notes.
URL. I think that's a URL I own.
If not, you promoted somebody else's business for them.
Yeah, no, it's there.
Welcome.
Upgradeyourpeergroup.com.
Nice, nice. Uh, and
By
I
the way, do you see how I'm just naturally marketing like crazy? I've already got people who have gone to mindsetAnswerman.com.
Mhm.
People have probably done a Google search for Free the Dream Conference,
Oh yeah.
or you could at least go to freethedreamconference.com. And I'm sorry if I've wasted your Google energy to make you look at it before I did. And I just dropped upgradeyourpeergroup.com
Yeah.
after a marketing message of the benefit of being in a mastermind group such as this. So this stuff just flows naturally.
Yeah. And the thing I've noticed, I mean, it's happening here right now as we're talking with each other. You're pouring into me.
Yeah.
And it's like, and whoever's listening right now, he's pouring into you. And at the same time, he's also plugging his own businesses. That's what Cliff's doing right now.
And
And
I'm not doing it in a creepy, salesy
no,
way either.
exactly. And something I had noticed when we were at Podcast Movement, just, well, at the time we were recording this just a few weeks ago, there was that mixer. I think it was on a Wednesday night, not the iHeart radio party, but the night before. Like you would be in a group. I was hanging out with Eric Nevins, and he wanted to go up and say hi to you, and so we were kind of creeping up on you. You didn't get a restraining order on us, so it's cool. But one thing I noticed though, not the thing where you were talking to a group, and then Eric would kind of miss the window, and you'd wind up talking to another group. But at some point during the night, there was a young man. Like he got you. You were at a table, and you were just pouring into him. And that
would be Jonathan. Yeah, Jonathan and Jonathan Jones.
Okay. Yeah, he had the notebook out, the pen,
Yep.
and he just soaked up everything you were sharing with him. And I just took a moment to kind of take a step back and say, wow, he could be here just schmoozing, building, networking to build his own businesses and platforms. But this is a man who took some time to stop and pour into this guy who asked some questions, I'm sure, and gave you the respect of paying attention and taking notes. And I just thought, wow, that's really cool. And then I went on my way. And then I saw you were with another group. I was like, hey, Eric, you missed Cliff again.
So that's all right. I got Eric later. He and I spent probably at least 2.5 hours together that night.
Yeah. That's probably why he wasn't worried. He's like, oh, we got all week. We'll see him 2 more days.
Yep.
Cool. So that was
by the way, since you bring that up, Jerry, I got to tell you, that's how I've built my entire business. My reputation is staked on, listen, it's not about the numbers. This is not about a numbers game for me.
Yeah.
It's not about going, a mile wide. I'd much rather go an inch wide and a mile deep. If I'm going to have a conversation with somebody, I'm going to be fully present. As far as I'm concerned, there isn't anyone else that exists on this planet except for the person in front of me right here, right now. I'm not thinking about, hey, are there anybody waiting in the wings to have a chat with me? Am I missing an opportunity while I'm sitting here still in front of this person?
Mm-hmm.
That's not the way I think. The question is can I create an experience right here, right now for this person so that when he or she walks away from me, they will never see the world the same ever again. And they'll never forget this conversation for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
That's the only outcome I'm ever going after.
Wow. That's gold right there. That is huge. Because I come across so many other folks that they are just after the transaction. They want to know, hey, can I get a deal with this guy right now? No? All right, next guy. Can I get a deal with this guy? Nope, next guy. Oh, this guy's not even in charge in his company. Next guy. And Eric and I were just talking about that on a couple episodes ago. And, like those are the folks that they network and they come off sleazy and they're just like, you're just in it for it yourself. And but people gravitate to those who do have like our best interest in mind. And that's what you do convey. And that's really cool to note, I think.
I appreciate that. And Jerry, I want to give a little additional insight so that people can understand how people like myself can afford to do this. And it's because first and foremost, I'm not ashamed to go over and have high ticket item priced products and services. So for example, everything that I do has a minimum fee associated to it. I do very few things for less than $1,000.
Mm-hmm.
So it goes up from there. But here's what I will tell you. I don't need lots of people to say yes to me. My average client ends up spending or investing or transmitting from their bank account to my bank account. From the lifetime value of a client for me is anywhere between $24,000 all the way up to about $100,000.
Wow.
So you tell me, how many clients do I need?
Not
a lot.
Yeah.
And if I don't need a lot of clients, I have very few clients, and I could serve every single one of those clients on only working normal business hours from 10:30 a.m. until 5 p.m. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And I have 4-day weekends every week of my life, and I never have to work during the evenings, except for one night of the week that I host a paid mastermind for people who still might have a day job. I have lots of freedom. I have lots of margin. And I never am in a situation where I need a conversation to turn into a transaction. I just don't need it. I have so much margin because I have held myself. I will not charge less. I will charge what I'm worth, and I will seek only to work with clients who see that value and work with those people.
Mm-hmm.
But the great news is there's millions of those people that exist. The cool thing is people who can afford to pay, $12,000 a year, $24,000 a year, $50,000, $100,000 a year. Guess what they all do? They all do life with other people who can also afford that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's a really cool thing. But the other thing is it frees me up. Because I have so much margin, I don't need any conversation at any conference to turn into something. I'm not going for networking opportunities. I literally start my day every day, whether I'm at a conference or whether it's here. I'm like, hey, I'm going to open up my social media, see if somebody sent me a DM today. I'm going to fire up a Clubhouse room. I don't think, oh my gosh, am I going to find my next client today? No, I'm like, God, is there somebody that you have created a divine appointment that I currently don't see on my schedule, but is there somebody that you're going to bring in front of my path today that they're meant to talk with me, and that you're going to use whatever you've given me as my education experience, my expertise, skills, talents, and abilities to bear fully on what it is that they're going after. No strings attached. I don't need anything in return. I trust that you've got my back on the business side of things. That's how I approach life. And that's why you're able to see me. It doesn't matter how many people were waiting in the wings. Dude, Jonathan Jones is here. And he just shared something of what his dream is. I asked him a couple of questions. He's like, dude, I haven't thought of that. And I said, hey, do you have some time now? He's like, heck yeah. And so we pulled over, and for an hour, I sat down and gave him a handful of notes of what to look for when he reads The Prosperous Coach by Steve Chandler and Rich Litvin.
Nice. Yeah. And when you were at that table, he was the only one in the world.
That's it.
You just gave him all that time, all that attention. And you were talking about earlier, leaving people with an impact that is going to last with them. I mean, be with them for the rest of their lives. I could clearly see that that's probably if he puts it all to action, that is a pivotal pivotal moment in his life. Wow, I could not talk there. Woo.
So check this out, Jerry. Let me tell you what happens, because a lot of people say, "Oh my gosh, Cliff, that doesn't scale." That's because I've had this conversation with a number of people. They say that doesn't scale. Wonderful. I don't need it to scale.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I don't need to do this for hundreds of thousands of people every
exactly.
year.
Yeah.
I just need to do it for the people who come across my path.
Yeah.
And I trust that the right people will come across my path. And here's the interesting thing. Now I have my peer group is people like Amy Porterfield, Michael Hyatt, Pat Flynn, John Lee Dumas. I mean, these are my friends, my peers. These are the right. And they all have these massive online courses. And you know, when it comes to vanity metrics, you put me up next to them, I'm a little I mean nothing, you know, when it compares to what most people consider to be success. And these guys are the giants. And you know what? And it's like, but that's not my world. That's not what I do. And I'm not here to be John Lee. I'm not here to do this. I'm here to support those people in being who they are.
Yeah.
That's awesome. But here's what it's interesting. When you go with this approach, here's something, I'm going to drop another URL on your audience. Podcastinga2z.com.
Oh, yeah.
I do not offer this course currently. I have not offered it since 2017. But if you go to podcastinga2z.com, I dare you to find another sales page for an online course that has that many testimonials. And by the way, almost 800 people who paid $2,000 for the 4-week online training program. I dare you to find another person in the online training space that has a 100% satisfaction rating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you're able to keep that number small and the quality high. It's almost like my grandfather did furniture. So he was a furniture refinisher, carpenter, that kind of thing. And I mean, you can have like your mass produced furniture where it's for the masses. The price point is kind of, it's only going to go so high. And then you have your custom cabinet maker that measures it specifically for a specific room in a specific house. And you're going to put some ornate details into it. That is worth a lot more than the mass produced assembly line type of thing. And in a sense, that's kind of what you got going on. Your coaching is very much to a small group of people. The amount of attention you can give them is a lot higher. And even when you're not doing the business side of it, the attention you're giving people is also along the same vein. You can see the abundance mentality, the mindset there in how you operate and move around and talk to people, because you know God's got your back.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, somebody had mentioned to you that it's not scalable, but I think it's scalable in a different way because supply and demand. If there's only so much supply, but that demand goes up, the scalability is in the pricing. You can always bring your pricing up if you have to. If the cost of living goes up, if the demand is so high and and you can afford to, then yeah, bring that. You're scalable in terms of the pricing. I think if the quality is there and the demand is there, the pricing can also go there.
Jerry, I want to tell you another story. It may be unrelated, but there may be some threads. But I feel inspired. Sometimes when I feel inspired, I just have to go with it. But I want to tell you something. I was going to Social Media Marketing World 2020, it was 2020, right before the pandemic hit.
Oh wow, yeah.
All right. So it was March 2020, and we were going to San Diego, and it was probably February 2020. I went to my podcast, the Cliff Ravenscraft Show, and I spoke out loud to my audience. I said, "Hey, I'm going to San Diego for Social Media Marketing World, but I'm showing up 2 days early. I'm going to fly in 2 days before the conference starts. And the reason why is because I'm going to the San Diego Zoo to walk around the zoo all day the day before the conference starts."
Nice.
And I'm going to make this offer. Maybe none of you will want to take me up on this, but if any of you would like to spend an entire 8-hour day from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. for $5,000, you can walk around the zoo with me all day long, and we'll go out to dinner together. My treat.
Yeah.
All right. $5,000. Now, I will tell you, if you were to go and look at the ratings and reviews on iTunes, there's a 1-star review that literally like just said the most awful, nasty things. This guy is off his rocker. He's a self-help guru. He's a poor man's Tony Robbins, blah, 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 blah. But you know what I have? I have a selfie with me and a woman from North Carolina who paid $5,000 to spend 8 hours with me at the San Diego Zoo that day.
Yeah. Now, did she pick your brain the entire time? Or
Yeah. That was the whole purpose.
Yeah.
And she came and we had the most incredible time. Now, the cool thing is I thought, this is going to be somebody who's already coming to San Diego to attend Social Media Marketing World, and they're just going to extend their day an extra day, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I thought. Do you know she did not go to Social Media Marketing? She's from North Carolina. She literally she paid me the $5,000 in advance.
Mm-hmm.
She then purchased a plane ticket to go from North Carolina to San Diego to spend that day with me. And then flew home.
Man.
And I'm telling you, the only limitation about how we can generate income is our imagination and our beliefs and our fear of what people might write in an iTunes review, I guess.
I mean, I'm sure that 1 star did not undermine anything.
It just is. It doesn't matter to me. It is what it is. Matter of fact, I could talk all about iTunes ratings and reviews, by the way, if you're interested. I think this is the biggest. If I put on my old Podcast Answerman hat, let me tell you, one of the biggest wastes in the podcasting space I see. You build up all this reciprocity. You give all this value to your audience. And you say, hey, if you're really enjoying this, you could help support the show by going into iTunes or the Apple Podcast directory and giving us a rating and review. We really appreciate it. That's like the worst thing you could ever do. Do you not understand how reciprocity works? Reciprocity, by the way, is this something that's unique, or it's innately built into our human personality. When somebody does something mean or nasty to us, we have an innate desire to return nasty and meanness back to them. Also, if somebody gives us incredible value, we have this innate desire to return value. I can't begin to tell you the number of times, Jerry, over all of these years, I go to all these different conferences. People have listened to my podcast. Oh my gosh, Cliff, you have to let me buy you dinner. You have to let me do this. I feel like I owe you. I hear that so much. And you want to know why they feel like they owe me, Jerry? Because I have never asked them for anything. But boy, you ask your audience this. Hey, if you've gotten value here and you feel you want to return value, here's what you can do for me. Pull out your phone and go leave a nice rating and review. Now, for most people, believe it or not, if they're really smart people, okay, no, dude, I almost take that back, except for there's only some truth to it. Really smart people don't use the Apple Podcast directory.
Yeah.
It's not the best app out there. Go get yourself a Pocket Cast, a Downcast, or an Overcast or something. But anyway, not everybody uses the Apple Podcast directory. Not everybody has an iOS device. So to ask those people, and by the way, some of them will have such reciprocity. You'll have such reciprocity built up that they'll want to do anything you ask. And so they'll go, it's like, oh, I got to create an Apple ID. And then if it depends on how they go through, oh, I have to attach a credit card to it. Well, I'll do it for Jerry, and so blah, blah, blah. And it's like, man, and next thing you know, it's about 25, 30 minutes later, and they've given you a 5-star review, and it's like, listen, dude, I'm off the hook. I don't owe this guy anything. Now you have no reciprocity built up in the bank account. You have nothing on deposit with that person because you gave them an easy way of doing it. And by the way, it's not easy. I mean, come on, seriously. Even if there's a lot of very inconvenient steps for leaving a rating and review in iTunes. It's kind of a hassle, if you will. It'd be easier if you said, hey, if you really enjoy this show, why don't you click on the link in the show notes where you can leave a $5 tip in the tip jar?
Okay. Yeah. Changing my script right now. Only 200 and some episodes in. Better late than ever.
I wonder why I'm not making any money from my podcast, but I got lots of great reviews.
I got all 30 of them. I mean, because you've heard people plug that for years. Like, be sure to ask for a rating and review. That's how you get in the new and noteworthy. And I'm like,
I hear that.
Yeah.
And I don't, by the way, I'm not judging those that do this, but I will tell you this. I do judge you just a little bit if you said this is the best thing you can do.
Yeah.
Even it's not the best thing you can do for anything. It's a decent thing. It may be helpful. It may be beneficial. It is certainly in no reality in any of the multiverse. Is there any place in existence where it is the best thing people can do to help you promote your show? Do you want to know what the best thing somebody can do to help you promote your show? Hey, if you've enjoyed this episode and it's resonated with you, chances are there's already 1, 2, 3, maybe even 10 people that come to mind who need to hear this. Send a link to this episode to that group of people. That, my friend, is one of the many of things that you could do to help this show.
Boom. Yeah, Dave Jackson just got me to start doing that recently. I was like, yes, why have I not done that sooner? So yeah, a lot of, I think we joked about it earlier, but it was like a joke, but not really a joke. Like the show kind of did hit a rut for a while, and we did shift some things around. I mean, the host retired from the show, and co-host became the host, and I had to change my peer group. So that's where enter Eric Nevins and the Christian Podcasters Association, and those guys. Oh man, they keep putting me in the hot seat, and it's like, okay, I got this homework. Got it. Okay, good. And then I go out and I do it, and I'm building momentum, and I just love it. So, now let's see here before we run out of time. So we got,
by the way, I've got plenty of time. You just keep going, man.
All right. Yeah. Eventually I'm going to start getting some texts that I need to be back somewhere. So,
okay.
But if you're listening, good sir,
let's speed this up. I got other important people in the wings here to talk to, Jerry. Come on.
Steve, go past this part. My boss does listen to the show, but it's cool. He understands.
Hey, Steve, how are you?
Oh, he's going to love that.
Hey, Steve, do you want to upgrade your peer group? UpgradeYourPeerGroup.com.
There we go.
Talk to you soon, Steve.
That would be awesome if he called you.
That would be awesome.
You have to let me know. Actually, he'll let me know, but still, just in case he doesn't, that would be awesome. Man, where do I want to land this plane, though? So we got CliffRavenscraft.com. You did a really cool thing, and you brought back to life the show that got me into podcasting. You probably know where I'm going with this, the Podcast Answerman.com. And it sounds like you want to get away from all the technical stuff that the show had wound up going towards and really talk about the evergreen content from the episodes you already have. I think the last thing I want to share or have you share with folks is, if they are thinking about pursuing their dream, maybe they're in a career they don't like and they want to break free. Maybe they want to be a writer. Maybe they want to be an artist. Maybe they want to start their own nonprofit, whatever it is. Why should they start a podcast as part of that dream? Or why not?
So here's what I will say is this. I would encourage you to think of your life like a leaf that's here for a season. The other day, I was sitting in the parking lot of the gym, and I was looking at a beautiful tree that's there planted on the property. And all spring, it was this beautiful green, lush tree with all these beautiful leaves that would kind of blow about. And it's like, oh, man, I love seeing all the green leaves on these trees. And then all of a sudden, I just noticed that yesterday when I was sitting in the parking lot, this tree, some of these leaves are starting to change like a bright yellow, a little bit of a orangish color. And eventually when I go there next week, I'm sure that some of it will turn a little bit of red and it's just like an auburn color. It's just beautiful. And it just makes me feel so good. And it's so great because I know there's going to be a season where I'm going to go in that parking lot and all I'm going to see is brown limbs. And I always love seeing leaves show up. But you know what, Jerry? The leaves that I saw last night, the ones that are currently yellow and starting to turn, they're eventually going to turn red and they're going to fall and fade to the ground. And they'll never come back. but you know what? They will have had their impact. They will have communicated a message of the awesomeness of God's creation to me. They will have inspired me that, you know what, life is cyclical, that, you know, you carry on, you're here for a while, and your responsibility is to be a source of beauty and love and communicate hope and a message of a few. It's just be yourself in this world. And you know what, that leaf, it's here for a couple of months because I'm in Northern Kentucky. We have 4 seasons here. And so spring, it comes out. Then we have the summer, and then we have the fall, and then it's gone. Now, you and I, Jerry, and the person listening to this with us, we actually are here not just for a couple of months. We're here for a couple of years. Maybe we're blessed with a couple of decades, and then we're gone. My question is, are you going to show up and be a source of encouragement for this world? Are you going to put your voice out there and say, hey, I have a message of hope. Hey, I have a passion. Hey, I'm here just to shine and just be in the breeze and be a mirror reflection of God's image in this world. I'm going to live in alignment with the identity of who God created me to be. And you know what? I have something important I want to say. Sure, there might be other people out there who you could argue have more experience than I have in this space, this passion, this industry. You might say that there are people who have far more education and expertise, and they're more talented and skillful than I am. But you know what? Nobody has the message that I have. Nobody has the way of thinking about this topic that I have. Nobody has my unique voice. And there are people out there in this world who are dying to find somebody that they can resonate with. And you know what? They may not resonate with a Tony Robbins or a Pat Flynn or an Amy Porterfield or a Stu McLaren or a Michael Hyatt, but they might resonate with you. But they never will unless you create that podcast. That's what I would say to that person. Your fall will come.
Nice. That was perfect. Now, I know years from now, you're going to build your business up to where you've got those 10 clients bringing in $100,000 a piece. What do you have going on that's more immediate that you want to share with folks?
Sure. I have a couple things. The Next Level Mastermind group is for business owners. It's a group of people who are committed at a minimum of a $12,000 level for 1 year. And we get in a weekly environment where we share all of our education, experience, expertise, skills, talents, and abilities to bring all of it to bear in support of the success of every other member of the group. So that's over at upgradeyourpeergroup.com. Then I do one-on-one coaching. I especially love people who have limiting beliefs that they don't believe that what they're dreaming about is possible. And I would love to help them understand that they wouldn't be able to dream that dream unless they had every resource they need. It's never a lack of resources. It's only a lack of resourcefulness. And much of what is standing in the way is you. And what you've picked up along all of the years you've spent on this earth, adopting beliefs subconsciously without being aware of it. And single conversations could often just change your life. And so I do one-on-one coaching with individuals. You can learn about that on my Work With Me page at cliffravenscraft.com. And of course, I create a little bit of content. And if you just go to cliffravenscraft.com and click on the podcast tab, you will see a list of some shows that I do.
Nice. Cliff, it has been great having you on this show. And I look forward to staying in touch. And looks like I got a new friend, so I'll be bugging you at the next podcast movement, if not sooner.
Awesome, Jerry. Reach out anytime, my friend.
Awesome. Thank you.
Bye, Steve.
Nice.